Alright, so I've been leveling this other character, and it's a Volatile dead. It's gonna be Inquisitor. I'm doing lab right now, but the build is quite simple. So what the tree's looking like, yeah, you're pretty much just building like a crit caster using fire spells, but it's a two-step build. It's Desecrate with Spell Cascade followed by Volatile Dead. Volatile Dead takes corpses on the ground, does a little mini DD. It's for 3%, and that can't be reflected. And with that damage, it makes these kind of like flame blood heat-seeking orbular balls, and they do a lot of damage. Well, scaling them's kind of weird. It's very satisfying to play because it's just two buttons pretty much. Discover the extra, cool extra key, and it's just the heat-seeking aspect. Kind of like playing Arc in the early days, where just the auto target is just really a quality of life. Couldn't really start leveling until I got 16, until I got Desecrate, because it just feels bad otherwise. But you just sit here right-clicking and it'll kind of just do the do for you. So 1 Desecrate equals 2 Volatile Deads. I've been running Clarity, Anger. I don't really know what else to run for auras, but Anger seems okay. I was going to run Heralds because I am crit, but apparently because the balls are second phase of the ability, like the initial explosion is phase 1, phase 2 is the balls, means the balls aren't coming from me, although they can reflect. It seems like they can't shatter. But I could kind of like pre-fire my abilities here a little bit. So I insta-give them like that. It's a little bit tricky to actually pull off to kill what I want to kill sometimes. As far as damage scaling goes, I don't really know how else to scale it aside from just having more links than my current 3 link with a +1 gem. It does do a lot of damage though. Oh, I fucking hate these things. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Oh, is that a barracks? Oh shit, that's spicy actually. That is a spicy drop, bright beak. Alright, it should be pretty easy. I should be able to almost like just fucking insta give him. This is kind of how I do this strategy. None of them like went towards him. That's like the worst case scenario. Even that's not that bad. Alright, 4 keys. Pretty good. First things first. Always click the Ascendancy Shrine. We're getting Inquisitor. Ascend. The most important thing is Inevitable Judgment. This means our crits ignore any sort of penetration. So we're picking up right here. 100% crit chance against enemies that are affected by no Ellie status, which is always for us. And eventually we'll have to get that, because at the moment we're doing Ellie focus, we'll have to swap that out. But 100% crit chance pretty much, which is nice. See if this feels any better. Should technically have a lot higher crit chance, but I'm not sure. Twice enchanted. It's cool. It's cool. Doesn't really help me considering, but still good. A Volatile Dead build is actually a lot easier to play and level because it's just a caster, so in general it's just how it works. So he's pretty much ahead of this guy already, but that's okay. I swapped out Mirage Archer just for Pierce, I think, and it feels a lot better. I don't know what it is, but I don't have like enough. Mirage Archer just doesn't feel that strong at the moment. I'm sure for a 5th link it'll be great, but just right now it's just not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good, you know? Still would love to get a Tempest if possible. If I get Tempest, I could do this shit forever, pretty much. Once I finish Calmadresso, I will swap LMP for GMP. My mana isn't great, and Mirage Archer kind of dropping it kind of fixed that, because it was actually, it's a pretty big more multiplier, 140. But GMP is still better for TS in every single way. The extra projectiles are just too good to avoid, especially since it kind of shotguns the way it overlaps. As long as you always attack past the mobs, Pierce works really well with TS. I always make fun of this card, the Kingsblade, because it's a real piece of shit. But early on, Bloodthirsty is a tier 4, I think, fizz roll, maybe tier 5, so it's like 120% fizz on Eternal Sword, which will be level 60 something, might be just 66. But actually, that's a lot of PDPS for a one-hand sword. If you have a Regal, you just kind of AUG it, Regal it, then slap on flat fizz. And if you hit attacks or hit anything good like that, it's probably going to be like a 300 PDPS weapon, which is, for starting off, quite strong. So as much as I shit-talk that item, for solo self-found, it's not a bad thing. And this dropper is so common that you could honestly just farm it in Duresso's Dream right here. Still have not found a good Abyssal Jewel for my build. Hopefully I will find soon. Murderous Eye is the base I want. I believe I have enough stats. Nope, almost have enough stats to drop this. I have to just pick up like one more thing. Alright, so I just hopped on my Volatile Dead character and just bought the GMP. So we're gonna go from 1097. Most of the mana cost is 19. into 904, and the mana cost is now 22. Definitely went up, but it shouldn't be that much of an increase. That's gonna really fuck me over. Yeah, just GMP and Pierce, I think, both made Abysses feel a lot better. Just overall. I mean, my damage is a little bit higher. It's just, it's feeling better for sure. Kind of whole face tanking strat works a lot better when I have Pierce and GMP on. Attacks with bows, we've finally found one. Holy shit, 3 rare spawn that time. First time I've seen 3 rare spawn. I've vendored like 10 fucking times this instance. There's been probably 4 or 5 Abyss in this instance alone. It's kind of getting crazy how often you have to vendor just because of like the amount of shit you're getting. Alright, let's make ourselves a fat fucking silver flask. Do you want to have probably increased effect? And then some status thing. Not status thing. We want either bleed or curse because we get... Oh, perfect. Well, that's good enough. That's good enough. We get complete status immunity from Master Alchemist. So ailments at least. And elemental ailments, so shock, freeze, ignite. But we still need bleed and curse. Pretty much. So yeah, we want those eventually. But Surgeons is fine. It's not the end of the world. It's a straight upgrade from my other one, so all good. Heavy belt, heavy belt. Where art thou, heavy belt? A little bit of spooky scenario. Okay. Pretty sure those are the Giant's Bane gauntlets. The ones that give you the grip. The grip of the iron. Flat fizz to attacks, strength, and iron grip on gloves. I don't really quite know what that's useful for. Iron grip, for those who don't know, where the fuck is it? Makes the increase to physical damage from strength, applies to projectiles as well as melee. So if you push, you go to your character screen. Strength scaling just says every 5 strength equals 1 melee physical. Now that also applies to ranged. Just physical, pretty much, damage. But it isn't super good. I mean, if I'm playing a fizz bow build, it might give me some more damage, but it's not like a ton. It's still okay unique. It's a flat fizz on gloves and a pretty okay amount for starting off. So level 23, if I'm playing any pretty much fizz attack build, it's going to give you a nice little chunk of damage. Honestly, at this point, any uniques are much welcomed. White Death, I haven't seen him in so fucking long. It's been crazy. So I put an order of 20x over 12 hours ago and still haven't received any items. This is the worst RMT delivery Sir Chive I've ever had. Gonna need to talk to a manager, please. Sir, please leave me and my son alone. If you're asking who my son is, I think that's fairly obvious. Where are you? There you are. He's my true child. Do you not see the spitting image of Toad Boy and his papa? Papa? Honestly, the reason I am speccing so much into damage right now and just kind of sitting around this 1 point whatever K life is because I honestly feel that the best defense at the moment, this is very much like Beyond League when it first came out, for those who played it, the best defense possible in this league is insane amounts of offense, because you have to kill these mobs within a second or two of them coming up, otherwise they're gonna stack and they're gonna fucking dick you. I truly feel that. So I'm never really going to have much more than 4k life in this build, I swear. I'm going to be sitting around 4k life and just bananas damage, because there's no reflect. I'm not going to be able to off-screen myself anymore. I need to be able to just mow shit down before it can get to me, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have my banana jam damage, and I'm going to jam on some bananas. I feel like I've been wandering the slave pens for about 10 minutes too long here. We've made it. Act 5 town. Salvation. I need a lightning wrist ring. No matter what. First and foremost. Let's check Cthulhu for 5 links, because he can't have them. I'm not super hopeful. Okay. After I grab Primeval Force, I could get the 1% life regen node in the duelist area. And once I have that, I believe I should have enough physical mitigation and resistance that I can run Blood Rage. And I should be able to just sit at, neutral, which pretty much is going to mean that I just have free attack speed and frenzy charge generation, which is really nice for damage. It scales the damage up so well, especially with a Ellie attack build. So it's really great way to scale my damage up. Alright, so with the final note of Primeval Force, we go from 1.4 or 1474 to 1578 plus 5% pen plus, while our flasks are up 20% increased elemental damage, which is pretty much always since we're Pathfinder, so that's great. What is that? Oh, Abyssal Depths. Nice. It's our first Abyssal Depths. I was like actually confused what was happening. Cool. Let's do this. So this is what happens in Abyss League. I mean, it's a league we're in. Sometimes instead of, we talked about this earlier, instead of getting the chest to spawn, you can get the Abyssal Depths to spawn. And it's a instance where the Lich can spawn, only on like maps I'm pretty sure. But basically you just run through. You can walk through, it's fine. And you just walk around the tunnels, popping these things called hordes in the ground. Mostly just killing packs of mobs. And there's like a rare and some magic mobs, some white mobs. Those things called hordes. And they're like little loot pinatas, and they drop a lot of shit actually. So wouldn't be surprised if I got a unique or two in here, because I've gotten 3 or 4 by myself. And there's just a bunch of rare, so it's actually a pretty good experience and it's pretty good loot. Mostly loot for me, which is what I'm excited about here potentially. And at the end, you fight like a big ass totem, and that's it. First character reach level 100. I thought someone already did. I guess not. Well, congrats to that guy. There you go. Can make a golem build now. Got a clay shaper. Alright, looks like we're just leveled and we're coming to an end of this thing right here. There's not really much to say about this upcoming fight. I'm fighting a totem. I sit in the back and I right click until it dies. That's the extent of that. And hopefully everything else dies as a consequence. Nope, I gotta target that thing right now. Soul Eater sub-fizz mob. That takes priority. But I got a minute and change to do this, and it's honestly pretty easy with GMP Pierce, because it'll probably kill most of the things that are getting in my way. If I see a bunch of rares stacking up, I have to prioritize them like right now. But even in that scenario, it's not too bad. I don't have a ton of damage considering what we're doing, but it's, as you can tell, it's at 50 seconds left on the clock, so we're fine. Alright, so our damage with our Blood Rage and charges up is now at 2.2k, up from, geez, it was like 1.6, so it's really an insane damage increase, frenzy charges. And we're gonna pick up more, of course, when we start mapping and doing higher level content, all that shit. Will you even get to attack me? Nope. Alright, there's my okay, there's my free unique. It's an interesting one. Bitter Dream. It's actually quite good for leveling for certain things. It's a ghetto 8-link, kind of. Definitely not the best use for Bitter Dream I could come up with, but it's pretty much all I got right now, so I'm just gonna stick with it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I'm Lighty, and have a good day. This has been Solo Self-Found.